Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am your host, Data T, and this is my channel, The Good Guys. Guys, this is another one for the Anti-Gunner Chronicles, and this may be a little bit different than what I usually put in this playlist, but I am going to go through this story in its entirety. We'll take a break from the trace and we'll be definitely going back there. But guys, before we get into today's story, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like, leaving a comment, subscribe. Remember, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I know we can get there with your help. So you guys can also reach me on Twitter, on Minds, and even on Truth Social. So let us first start out with this title: Man who shot New York's mugger arraigned on multiple gun charges and held on 50,000 K. This is bail. Okay, so the real criminals can commit a crime and get out on cashless bail, but this guy is held on 50,000. Now, let's watch this video. And the title reads: The video shows footage of Charles Fournier, 65, approached by erratic armed robber before fatally shooting him. Here we go. Okay, so you see that, all right? Let us begin with the story. It says here, the Queens man accused of gunning down a would-be mugger, earlier this week was arraigned Friday on dozens of gun charges related to the weapon he used in the incident and for allegedly stockpiling illegal firearms in his apartment. Now, let us see what it says here. It says the Queen man's fatally shoots mugger appear to threaten him with pen. Prosecutors weigh murder charges. Guys, from my opinion, yes, he threatened him with a pen, but it still could have been used to kill him. You can kill people with a pen. There are all kinds of objects that you can kill an individual with. And I have to tell you, if this man, this 65-year-old man, felt like he was in fear of his life, he absolutely has the ability to shoot him. Now, guys, this is New York. And there is a overall point that I want to come to after I read the entirety of this article. So let me go back and keep reading. All right. It says Charles Fournier, 65, was slapped with 25 counts of criminal possession of a weapon for using an unlicensed gun to fatally blast mugger Cody Gonzalez, 32, in the chest in the Kew Gardens driveway Wednesday, and for allegedly keeping an arsenal of illicit handguns, revolvers, and rifles at his home in the quiet neighborhood. Guys, I'm going to tell you, the only law really I like to reference is the Second Amendment, and the Second Amendment says you have a right to keep and bear arms. I think all this other nonsense about registering your firearms, making sure it's legal with the state, in my opinion, is unconstitutional. Okay, so I don't have a problem with him stockpiling guns. I don't have a problem with him having rifles of all sorts in his home. I don't have a problem with it. Okay, so now this man is facing multiple gun charges. Okay, that's the separate story there that the New York Post has run. But let's go back. Okay, that's just the links. It says in a confession, Forner allegedly told authorities he was packing the illegal pistol in question to protect himself as New York City crime rates soar, Assistant District Attorney Joseph Randazzo said in court, which is the truth. Last night I was carrying a firearm because of the way the city has been for the last 3 years. Forner allegedly said, I read the crime stats and I see so much crime. I had the pistol. I obtained it in a bar one night. This individual is correct. Last 3 years, remember, we are from 2020, the summer of love, and all this nonsense about the defunding of the police. I don't blame him. And I'm going to tell you, in the gun community, okay, I remember the USCCA had wrote an article about gun owners foregoing the, let's say, the rules about where they carry. And I'll give you an example. If you look at one individual, his name is Elijah. He is the hero from Indiana who shot the individual 40 yards away. Okay, I think Eli. They named a drill after him, Eli. Okay, and he shot that individual from 40 yards away. But in the mall, there is a rule that they have that says no firearms on premises. Okay, but he was carrying concealed. Okay, some people, some gun owners will abide by that, some will not. That's all I will say. Okay, I'm not going to say gun owners break the law, because vast majority of them don't, because they are good citizens. Okay, they are not criminals. All right, but there are people who realize that, hey, if you are going to put me in a bad situation, I'm going to have to outweigh the risks and benefits. And in this case, guys, we saw from this video, he felt in danger and he felt threatened for his life. That's why he fired. There is a reason why this man used his gun. Okay, and we clearly saw that 32-year-old Cody Gonzalez was the aggressor. All right, so let's keep going. It says here, but Randazzo said police later found approximately 26 firearms, including pistols, shotguns, rifles, an AK-47, 2-body armor vests, and multiple rounds of ammunition in his home. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, it says here, on the cache of weapons, only 5 rifles were licensed, Randazzo said. Forner's lawyer, Margaret Lynn, urged Queens Criminal Court Judge Jerry Lenza to release him without bail. They do that for all the criminals. Why can't they do that for this man? Saying he's a deli worker with no criminal record, lives steps away from the courthouse, and is not a flight risk. So somebody who has not committed a crime, somebody who has a clean record, someone who has a job, you decide that he has to stay in jail. It's ridiculous. They don't even do this for criminals. Okay, let's keep going. It says this incident is a total aberration in his life. She said he is the one who called the police. Most self-defenders do immediately after the robbery, where he is the victim, which is true. But Lennox ultimately sided with prosecutors, ordering him held on $50,000 cash bail. It's because he has all the guns. It is because he is a self-defender. And I'm telling you, just like they did with Daniel Penny, they are going to make an example of this man. They have to. They do not want people to get the idea that they can stockpile weapons. And this guy did this for 3 years. 3 years and no incident. None. And this guy was able to defend himself. It says here, Fortner has not been hit with any charges for fatally shooting Gonzalez. So they're not even charging him for his self-defense encounter. It's just because he had all the guns. It says here he faces up to 25 years in prison on the top charge of criminal possession of a firearm in the first degree. This is bullshit. Wearing a blue button-down shirt and face mask, Fortner was led out of the court with his hands cuffed behind his back. This is this individual here, a 65-year-old man, gonna go to prison for 25 years for guns. Fortner's wife, Jenny Speed, sobbed outside court. Imagine she would have been crying if this man was dead, right? She would have been sobbing if this man killed her husband. But no, she is crying because New York does not like that this man has all these guns, and instead of giving him bail and letting him get out, they said, no, we got to put him on $50,000 bail. He cannot leave. He needs to stay there. On top of that, he has a 25-year sentence ahead of him. This is absolutely horrific. It says here, people love him. Look at this. Hold on. Fortner's wife, Jenny Speed, sobbed outside court ahead of the arraignment, telling reporters her husband is a really good guy. Oh, boy. People love him. Everybody loves him, she added. Fortner had been walking home at 2 a.m. Wednesday after stepping out for cigarettes when Gonzalez, an erratic career crook, confronted him on the street. Cops. Maybe he didn't want to smoke. I know this is a stupid decision at 2 a.m. in the morning, but maybe he didn't want to, he's got a habit for cigarettes. Maybe he doesn't want to smoke in the house, and he goes out in the morning. He goes out 2 a.m. in the morning. Police said the would-be bugger who demanded smokes and cash was wielding an object which Fortner believed to be a knife, but later turned out to be a pen. How would he know that? How would he know that? Especially if the guy is making a threatening threatening gesture and maybe jabbing like this. What can he do? Surveillance video of the encounter allegedly shows Fortner whipping out a handgun and pointed it at an erratic Gonzalez, and he definitely was erratic. Let's see what this link will show. It's probably the same, which it is. Yeah, I'm not going to play that. Okay, let me go back. It says here, he opened fire when Gonzalez suddenly lunged at him. The video shows. Okay, lunged, guys. Okay, the slain robber who had at least 15 arrests, and this guy is not in jail, dating back to 2004, and a record of mental illness, died in the street, and we saw that he died there. Okay, guys, we don't celebrate death here. Okay, we don't, but I absolutely celebrate this man's ability to protect himself. Okay, says here, cops found a pen in the slain man's right hand. So what? Okay, this is this joker right here. Okay, he looks disturbed. During questioning, Fortner cited the city's crime as the reason why he was armed when confronted by Gonzalez. Queens Assistant District Attorney Joseph Randazzo said Thursday, "Last night I was carrying a firearm because of the way that the city has been in the last 3 years. I read the crime stats and I see so much crime. Fournier told the investigators, according to prosecutors. His arrest comes after Fournier gripped to the Post just a few years earlier about rampant crime in his neighborhood. "This isn't our nice little neighborhood anymore," Fournier said in an August 2020 article about a since shuttered hotel on Queens Boulevard that locals gripped had turned into a flophouse. People come down the block and key a car as they pass it. Drug deals are going on in the lobby. These are things that he has noticed. He has noticed that his neighborhood has gone to shit, and he wasn't trying to do something about it. He wasn't trying to go out there and just it or be a vigilante, but he wanted to, at the very least, protect himself. When you see stuff like this, guys, all it's meant to do is a few things: discourage you from carrying a firearm. Okay? It is meant to put fear in you from carrying a firearm. It is meant to dissuade you. It is meant to persuade you. It is meant to inform you that do not have a gun in New York City. That's all. Stories like this, okay, are meant to dissuade you. And I want to give you one more, okay? I know this may be a little bit different than what I'm usually through, but let me just give you one more, because this is something that I thought was very telling, okay? And I think I can find it. Let's see. And it's this, guys. Look at this. The two residents of Memphis apartment complex lawfully shot back at armed car thieves. The management complex told them they weren't allowed to defend themselves or their property and immediately served them with 3-day eviction notices. Okay, now let's click this and let's see the video. Okay, there's gonna be an advertisement here because we're doing this on the fly. Okay, but in the meantime, while that loads up, okay, I gotta say, all this, and this is in Raleigh, North Carolina, okay, all this is meant to do is dissuade you. It is. And this says Memphis, Tennessee. I'm sorry. Okay, so in Memphis, Tennessee, these two men came under attack, and now they are going to be evicted. I want to play this and let you guys hear this. Check this out. Let's put the volume up. Check this out, guys.
Open fire on me.
Developing news tonight, 2 men coming within inches of death after first being shot by car thieves in Raleigh. They shot back in defense, and now the men are getting evicted from their apartment complex. It happened earlier this month, and they reached out to us for help. Tonight, they're speaking only with Fox 13's Dakari Turner.
Watch closely. Early morning security video shows a white car pull up next to the red Hyundai before backing up and repositioning itself. The video ends there because the person watching picked up the phone and called Terrence Montgomery.
Let me know that somebody was trying to steal my girls from the car again.
Frantic, he throws on flip-flops and heads outside with his gun for protection.
I get right here, they see my gun in my hand. They right there at the corner, they start opening up fire, shooting out my neighbor's window.
Almost killing my kids by inches while they were laying in bed to sleep.
So I shot back 2 to 3 times.
I grabbed my gun and briefly seen them in the glimpse of that white vehicle that was sitting right there after they returned fire. I returned fire twice.
After that, we received a letter in the mail saying we got 3 days to vacate the premises.
Avery Park, the Memphis-based leasing company, saying they'd become a nuisance and threaten others' safety. The kicker, they were being blamed after a trip to the office. Neither men charged with the crime.
Saying that it's my fault and you can't stop anybody from coming on the premises and trying to steal anything.
We're protecting ourselves, and we're the victim, but some type of way we're getting evicted.
Avery Park Apartments not returning our call days ago.
What do we supposed to do?
A single question with no current answer. Dakari Turner, Fox 13 News.
So, guys, what do you do in this case? Okay, so this is one case here. Now, I'm confused on where this story is. It says Raleigh. I thought this was somewhere in North Carolina or the Carolinas, and then this says Memphis, Tennessee. So who knows where this is? But this did happen this year, guys. Happened in May. But if we go back to our original story, all this is meant to do is to tell you, hey, we are not going to allow you to defend yourself. That is what it's going to come to. And I don't know if it's a larger plot or it's by design. In my opinion, I think it is by design. They want these people, these criminals, these multiple felons. Why else release people like this? Why have people with multiple records still out there causing problems? You do nothing about it. When they do something, it's immediately catch and release. But for someone like this, someone at 65 years old who uses a firearm to defend himself, and you see these two brothers here, whether they Tennessee, Raleigh, wherever it may be, they do the same exact thing, and they are punished for it. This is what is coming for all the self-defenders, for all of the good guys who decide to carry guns. Initially, I was thinking maybe this is not so bad. Maybe this guy is this 65-year-old this guy, he is really in the wrong. But when I first read the story, I said, no, what exactly has this guy done wrong? He hasn't complied with the state. And to be honest, I believe the state's rules are unconstitutional. And I think I may have to, maybe there should be a GoFundMe for this guy. Okay? And this is sad. And we are going to see more stories like this. And this is why I classified this as the Anti-Gunner, and why this belongs in the Anti-Gunner Chronicles. Because these people are definitely sending the message that they are anti-gun. Plain and simple. And so when people see this story, when people see what happened to those individuals living in that apartment complex, they are trying to send the message: get rid of your guns. Even I had somebody on Twitter tell me the same thing. Hey, get rid of your gun. But then what would that make us? That would make us defenseless. And then that would make us also susceptible to tyranny. And I, my friends, will not have it. I will not have it, oh. I will not. So, guys, what do you guys think about this? Am I wrong here? Let me know in the comment section. Don't have too much activity there. Hopefully this will stir some debate. But guys, I know good people have guns. Good people should always have guns. And if good people do nothing, there will be no good guys.